Hello and welcome to this video of the Light Novel Dungeon. I'm Stefan and I'm here to present you a novel that may cause diabetes for you, and I ask myself the question if attack is always the best defense or it can be the other way around. Join me for this review of Bofuri, I Don't Want to Get Hurt So I'll Max Out My Defense, Volume 1. A quick reminder for you, this is an English translation of my original German review for this light novel. Normally we don't do those around here, so it may be a bit rough around the edges, but I hope you like it. Normally we do our reviews only in German, but we made an exception for this one since I really like. But don't expect us to publish that many English reviews in the future. Another thing I want to tell you, this review may contain spoilers for the content of the book to make some points clear. For a spoiler-free summary, please refer to the conclusion at the end of the video. You'll find the timestamp down below in the description. But before we dive further into this review, I have a small confession to make to you all. This review might not be that balanced since I'm a big fan of the anime that aired in winter 2020. I just watched the anime with my little sister and just really liked the story and characters in it. I did know that I need the novel of this feel-good moe show in my life. Sadly, looking it up at the time, none of the English publishers had the series in their portfolio. So I sat there and hoped that the popularity of the anime might get us a license one day. In October 2020, Yen Press brought with them the exciting news that they licensed the title. You can't even begin to imagine how much I was hyped for this announcement. Just ask my poor colleagues who had to endure me all the time. After they shifted the release from end of March to the beginning of April, I can now finally lay my hands on this book. Though, since I'm living in Europe, I bought it digitally so I could read it on day one. Synopsis. Let's have a look at the synopsis of the book first. Is she the game's last boss? Though she doesn't play many MMOs, Maple has either a natural talent or impossibly good luck, because by pouring every last stat point she has into Vitality, she has created a character who can't be hurt. Whether it's physical attacks or magic or status effects, nothing poses a real threat to her. In no time at all, news spreads across the server about the adorable Terra who can't be defeated. While Maple may just be having fun, her broken build is sure to attract lots of unexpected attention. This was the official synopsis for Volume 1 of this series by Yen Press. Some general information on the novel. I would like to give you some general information first before we get to the review itself. I will today review the ebook version of the book for you. A print also exists, but as I said, I just could not wait to read this book, so I bought it immediately as an ebook. This book was released in English by Yen Press via their label Yenon. It was written by Yumi Kan and the artwork featured in the book was made by Koin. The translation to English was made by Andrew Cunningham, while Ivan Liang was editing this light novel. The book released on April 6, 2021. The characters. Just like how I do with each new series I present to my viewers, I want to give you a quick overview over the important characters in this book. Kaede Honjo, in-game Maple. Normally, Kaede herself is not really much of a gamer, but her good friend Risa always gets her way and Kaede ends up buying some games here and there. This was also the case with New World Online, a VR MMORPG. With just being 4'9", which is about 1 meter and 45 centimeters tall, Kaede is rather small even to Japanese standards, but it kinda fits her dreamy and naive nature. As she does not want to get hurt while playing the game, she decides to throw all her status points for her character Maple into the Vitality stat. For the class, she chose the Great Shielder, which comes with a big shield, a small knife and the highest Vitality stat in the game. Risa Shiromine, in-game Sally. Risa is Kaede's best buddy and regularly talks her into buying games and other stuff such as New World Online. She's pretty much the polar opposite of Kaede and what you would call a hardcore gamer, having played dozens of VR games in her lifetime already. She herself also is not that big, coming I guess a few inches taller than Kaede. For her character Sally, she did choose a more balanced approach than Kaede did for Maple. Risa loves to give games that extra bit of challenge, so she decides to make a character that focuses on evasion and the ability stat for that. But she does learn a lot of other skills like different magic and some utility skills as well, so she is more versatile than Maple is. My thoughts on Bofuri. I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense. Volume 1. Where do I begin with this? Maybe directly at the beginning. I did tell you already how I got into this book. I basically was taken in by the anime and wanted to know more. That happens rather often to me. Full of joy about its release, I sunk my teeth into this book in the anticipation of a story that features cute girls doing cute things in an MMO, just like in the anime. This was also what I got out of it, but there's more to this novel than I first thought. The book really makes a big leap when it comes to understanding the game they play and how Maple got so broken as she is. As for the comedic aspect of this novel, it is literally everywhere in this book. Right in the beginning, Maple gets to see what consequences her extremely one-sided build brings with it. As I already said, Maple did put all of her points into the vitality stat, leaving all of her other stats except for HP and MP to exactly 0. Also her agility. This has the side effect that most likely she is the slowest character in the game. I mean, even snails would be faster than her. This brings with it some unique challenges in terms of mobility for her. She just does not really care about it and just does her thing in a slower pace. She's just here to have fun, right? So, in her own slow tempo, she sets out to the woods where some monsters should live, just to encounter a horned rabbit along the way. It proceeds to attack Maple, but she does not take any damage from it. The poor little creature just could not get through her immense defense at 128 points. Maple thinks this is fun and plays with the rabbit for a full hour, though it's more like the rabbit tries to harm her again and again without success, each time taking some damage since it crashes into the floor. An hour later, the rabbit died because it took too much damage from all its attacks. The cute little Maple even cries her lost friend a tear. She's so cute. But all her hardship was not ignored by the system. She tanked attacks for a full hour without taking any damage at all, and she is rewarded with the skill Absolute Defense, which doubles her vitality stat and makes raising any other stat pretty pointless since you need 3 times as much points for it. And now she's even tankier than before with 256 vitality. How is this not broken in any terms? Well, basically the game uses a skill system which is inspired by things like Sword Art Online, I guess. You can do certain skills, use your skill in the game and get better at it. So, well, I guess Maple gets a skill for tanking for an hour straight. Doesn't seem that much broken. Something I could not wrap my head around in the beginning was just how could this even work? I mean, it's just not me though. Across the book we see some threads from a forum to the game pop up here and there. The players in the threads ask the same questions as I did in my mind and speculate on Maple's build and analyze her a bit. It shall be said that the book states the game released about 3 months ago, so this may lead to stuff like this possible to happen where the system not works as intended. Well, but that's just the tip of the iceberg on Maple's quest, I will call it, to be the tankiest of all of them. Not that she notices any of that. Maple just kind of flipped even my understanding of video games and how they are supposed to work on its head. There's also an aspect to the novel which is brought more forward when it's compared to the anime. In the anime, I got the impression that Maple just coincidentally stumbles from one broken ability to the next. The novel, on the other hand, lets her be a bit more competent, I guess. The book makes clear just how intelligent and strategic Maple can be when it comes to optimize her build even further, even though she does not take any damage to begin with. She quickly discovers how this skill system in this game works. If you do certain things, you acquire skill. So she deliberately goes out of her way to research on which skills could be beneficial to her and acquires those. Is she heading into the direction of a hardcore gamer now? In some instances, yes, since she even thinks about the game when she's at school in one scene before a big event. Some of the stuff that Maple gets is still based around her inhuman luck, still. She still is oblivious to just how broken her build even is. She's just having fun in the game after all. Maple just notices how broken she really is as her friend Risa points out to her as she joins the fun as Sally. Not that Maple really cares about that. There are some more scenes in the book that make Maple's weird genius shine, like the fight with the Hydra for example. It's a monster that uses poison to kill. Maple at the time had a poison resistance already, but she still took damage from the Hydra's poison. So what's the plan you think she comes up with? She does not think of giving up, so she makes a plan that involves her just tanking her way through the poison to acquire an immunity, if there even is one, against it, which even succeeds, but leaves her and the dragon in a situation that does not seem solvable. The Hydra can't do any damage to her, and she can't do any damage since her weapon and shield were killed by the poison. So what to do then? You could log out after all and let all the work go to waste. Or you do it the Maple way of doing things and just eat the whole monster. No, that's right what I said. She just ate the monster. That brings me back to the aspect of the comedy yet again, which makes the series so great for me. It begins even in the writing style of the book, and for that matter the translation as well. Author and translator wrote the book in a way that even really dangerous situations seem kinda harmless from just the way they are written. A small example for you. One is from page 22 of volume 1. It didn't hurt much, but Maple definitely felt a mild burn, almost like getting in the bath with a sunburn. In this scene, she was tanking strong poison of a monster, which normally would kill you on the spot. Yet Maple just feels a small annoyance. Or the time Maple just tanked casually 50 spells at once without even taking a splinter of a damage. I laughed my ass off at that scene. This is then complemented by the unwillingly funny moments and slapstick between Maple and Sally. Maple was once described as a person who really likes exclusive things, so much that she would hop on a landmine if it said it would be a limited time offer. This trait, funnily enough, gives her the motivation to measure herself against other players, since there's exclusive rewards to be had. The humor was wonderful and hit the spot for me. The book really does not take itself seriously, though this has a flip side as well. The action throughout the book is not really that exciting, and not really the strong side of this volume at least. It is either just Maple one-shotting things, or the action is thrown under the bus for a good joke, which kinda suits the book I guess. I was not bothered by it at all. It would be false to say there are no tense and exciting moments in this book. If you factor out Maple and look at the stories where Sally goes on a hunt herself, you can see that the action is quite good, since she cannot just steamroll anything in her way. Let me lose a few words on the illustrations here as well. I normally don't talk really much about them, but I'll make a small exception here. Coin really did a great job with them. They fit so well with the theme of the book and complement it quite good. They're so cute all over. I love them. They capture the cuteness of the book excellently. The localization of Yenpress also seemed really good to me. For me, they really hit the nail on the head when you look at the forum threads in the channel style, like, you know, those 2chan forums and stuff. They managed to get across the feeling of such forums really well, and it was really authentic. I just felt like I read a forum post of people who write regularly on forums. They did a great job on those. Is there something I don't like about the book then? Yeah, sure there is. This volume is really short, even for light novel standards. Coming in at about 143 pages, according to my e-reader. The print may be a bit longer, and just shy of about 32,000 words. Even the shortest volumes of Konosuba, another comedy-focused series, feature more content in their thinnest books. Those come in at about 42,000 words and about 157 pages each. And there are more illustrations in those as well. But a helpful person on Reddit pointed out to me that there's likely an explanation for this. I was told that the novel, as any other light novel at the moment, was published as a web novel first. And in the beginning, the author, it seems like, was just writing their story without making really clear cuts to them, since I think because the author never thought about that this web novel could become a light novel one day. This might have led to the Japanese publisher having a problem on their hands. A reasonable cut point was not there, it seems, for the first and second event in the series. So they had basically two choices. Either cram two events into one book, which would have made the first book really thick, I was told, because the second event is rather long, or make a cut after the first event and publish a shorter book. The publisher decided for the latter, it seems. To pad out the book a bit after the first event ends at about page 90, they added a bonus story for this volume. I'm not really a fan of this approach, but I guess you can't really solve the problem in another way. One thing that this shows though is that this novel is rather expensive compared to other novels. You pay either $8.99 for the ebook, which was for me €6.99, or for the print version you even pay $15. For me that's about 13 to 15 euros according to which seller you use for this volume. That's just a bit too much for me for such a short book. I would have liked it to be cheaper than that, but I guess that's just how Yen Press does its thing. The prices of their books are quite fixed for a whole series, which may be good in some cases, as say for Danmachi, where the volume 7 was really thick when you compare them to the novels that came before it. It had 384 pages, whereas the light novels before it had about 220 pages. They all cost $14 though. So with Bofuri we see the reversal of this. Here we have a short book costing much more than a longer one. I just hope the next ones will be thicker. I would have liked to read more. Another thing has to do with the ebook version itself. I know Yen Press is not at fault here, since that's just how ebooks work, unfortunately. But it's a problem I noticed in the novel, So I'm a Spider, So What as well. So if you know the Spider, you may have seen the small tables they have for statuses of the characters as well as their abilities, and they looked really horrible in the Spider depending on which device you read the novel. Here are some examples for you. Obviously, spoilers ahead for that. This has to do with the fact that ebooks don't follow a static design and can be reflowed and customized by the reader's needs. You need a bigger font? Go ahead, put it in, there's a bigger font for you. This can lead to such problems as you see above. Although Bofuri has a problem like this as well, it is way better here than in the Spider in this regard. The stats of Maple and Sally are displayed in boxes instead of rather loose tables like in Spider, and you can easily bypass the problem just by zooming out a little bit or choose a smaller font size for these scenes. Obviously a bigger e-reader might help here as well. Conclusion. Let's come to a conclusion of this likely way too long video then. With Bofuri I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense. Yen Press delivers something that I don't see that often in the VRMMO light novel space. Just a book that doesn't take the game all that seriously and is just fun to read. That the action was thrown under the bus here and there to crack a joke was not even a negative for me, but it might be for you. Maple is a welcome change as a protagonist as well. More often than not, those VRMMO light novels feature typical hardcore gamers that amass harem around themselves and are way too powerful for anyone to match. We have an overpowered protagonist here as well, but it's kind of funny. Although there are some exceptions that can be seen in something like Kuma 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 Bear, for example. It's rather a trope of the genre. Maple is not your typical hardcore gamer though, and leans heavily into the casual gamer space. It was fascinating to me to read how she slips out of being a casual and leans more into an hardcore throughout the book, though she never loses sight of the fun of the game, and she's really refreshing overall. The illustrations and the good localization make the book just that much bit better and complement it in good ways, making it even more cute than it already is. I felt right at home while reading this book. The book though is quite expensive for what you get in return, and I would have liked it to either be cheaper or feature more content in it. I hope the next volumes will bring more value to the table. Also be aware that if you buy the ebook, it can look a bit odd here and there when it comes to the boxes where the stats are displayed for our main characters. But that's just a problem with ebooks in general more than anything. If you have a bigger e-reader or tablet at hand, please use this to read this book. It might give you less trouble, or just buy the printed versions. You can purchase this novel for a price of $8.99 for the ebook and $15 for the print version. I'll link you Yen Press site down below so you can check out where you can get it. The next volume is due to release in about 3 months at the end of June, according to Yen Press. Also, if you are unsure about if this book is for you or not, I can wholeheartedly recommend you to watch the anime first and make yourself a picture of the series. You should be able to stream it at Funimation if you live in the US. And that was our first English review for the light novel dungeon. Normally we don't do these since it's quite time consuming to translate all of my reviews into English, so this one was an exception because I really like this series a lot by now. If you understand German though, we have some content coming up which might interest you as well. well, although we upload rather irregularly. We do reviews of light novels and write articles about them in German on our little blog over at lightnovel-dungeon.de. Feel free to pay us a visit if you like. And if you don't want to miss the next, most likely German video, feel free to hit the button to subscribe to us and ring the dungeon-owned bell so you won't miss a future video. I really would like to see you in the next video of the Light Novel Dungeon. Till then, bye!